see this in your living room at home, but it is fairly rough out here on the deep blue sea today. I'm not doing the waltz or the foxtrot, but I am standing with my very good friend Neil Elworthy from Tackleworld Mackay. They call you Thong. Thong, could you have organised some better weather for me?
It's not too bad, Paul. It's better than the last couple of days.
That's exactly right. We've had a lot of wind. We're at the Montebello Island group off West Australia. Check it out on Google Earth. It is an amazing part of the world. And today, Thong, we're chasing big Spanish mackerel.
We certainly are. We've already hooked up a couple of smaller mackerel, and it's surprising. We've got two hard body lures, two Yozuri hydro magnums out, and one fresh gar, and the two mackerel so far are taking the hard bodies.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yozuri. Now the big news. We've got some friends from Tackleworld in a smaller boat. They're just on the other side of this wash. I believe they've just landed a Spanish mackerel of 100 pounds, Thong.
That's certainly a big fish, isn't it?
So guess where we're heading now? We're going to get really close to them. Boys, I love your work. How's the size of that mackerel? I think we're going to be in for a pretty good day.
I think so. It's only just started.
Let's fish on. Pleasant start. And the skipper, my brand new best friend Gary from Blue Juice Charters, just yelled from the bridge, we're at the spot. And he wasn't far off the mark, was he, Thong?
He was spot on.
Now that was a shark mackerel you just caught?
That was a little shark you just caught then, yes, Paul.
Now obviously today we're targeting Spanish mackerel, and Spanish mackerel in this area grow to over 40 kilos. In saying that, any fish over 20 kilos is just an absolute monster, and I'm so keen to show you one. Because huge fish grow great on the barbecue, and Thong, they're a good-looking species, aren't they?
They're a great-looking species, Paul.
Now, I would say I might have another sharky here, and that would normally run true. Would you get shark mackerel over in Mackay, Thong?
You do get shark mackerel over there, out at the reef.
Yep.
I think if this one was a Spanish, he might be peeling off a bit more drag.
Absolutely. Oh, there we go. There's a bit of size to it. Now, I assume these things would be a school fish, so... What have we got here? Ah, it's a Spanish mackerel snuck in amongst the school of shark mackerel. Got it like that. Well, we're going to get him on board, watch for those nasty teeth, and the day has just begun. This is going to be cool. And overboard, oh! I tell you what, mate, if you can just hold my rod for me, that fish is actually a little bigger than I thought. Blue Juice's sides are so large that they look tiny. And when I say bigger than I thought, Spanish mackerel, he's probably only about 5 kilos, but probably the perfect fish to eat. But it's his lucky day because the day is still young. I'm going to grab that deep diving hydro magnum out of his jaw, and he's going back because I'd like to impress the skipper with a really big Spaniard from the Montebellos. But a cracker start. It's all good. Oh, the whale! Oh, see that? Come right out of the water, the whole humpy. Wow. I can't believe this. I've gone to all the effort to rig gars because I thought that'd be the ultimate. And we've just hooked up again on a Yozuri hydro magnum in the deep diver. The old redhead, it's a famous colour, isn't it, Thong?
Certainly is. It's probably our biggest seller, the redhead.
It is still the biggest seller.
It's still the biggest seller.
What about all the fancy blue mackerel patterns, green mackerel?
Oh, no, they still sell, but redhead definitely sell above both those colours.
What we're doing here, there's a massive reef. You'll see the waves breaking over it. We're about 9 miles offshore, I believe. And all the current and wind and waves are pushing against that reef, and it's actually forcing the bait into this little pocket. It is as rough as 10 bears. And I don't actually know how rough 10 bears would be, but if I was in a cave with them, I think that'd be pretty rough. And we're physically hanging on for our dear life. My cameraman is doing a beautiful job to keep that black box very steady. Oh, look at this, it's a big cod. Go, Thong. I think it is actually a rankin, and these things eat just sensationally well. Thong, you're the man, bring it over. Now we must be in fairly shallowish water. I'll grab that there. Because this hydro magnum goes down to 8 metres. And look at that, that is an I'll start again. That is an absolute benthic fish, as in it lives on the bottom. And that has taken our trolled lure. What an amazing effort. Thong, even though you caught that on a Trinidad, I've got to say that is a stellar performance.
Certainly a nice fish.
Do you know how good these things taste?
No, I've never eaten one before.
Oh, well, you're not going to know either because I'm not sharing it with you. You're having sausages, ranking on a Yo-Zuri Hydro Magnum. Thong, I love your work. Triple.
Is he on me too, Paul? Oh, they're all going. Hey.
Pete, you grab this other rod, mate. Wow, talk about insane. That one just got nailed at the boat. I actually saw this fish come out and hit the gar. Now, I'll fill you in. Peter, Tackleworld Country Geraldine. Sean, our decky, are not mic'd up. So unfortunately, you've got to put up with me and Thong. But this is a quadruple hookup on Spaniards, and I saw the big one come out.
Yeah, that's not a bad
and nail this rigged gar. So we've got, this is the situation. Thong's got a nice fish on a deep diving blue Hydro Magnum. This rod here, Sean's got Apex Predator Pop Top on that rod there. Great little trolling lure. And this rod, a small Hydro Magnum in Mackerel green, diced about 2 metres. It's insane. Now let me through there, Seanos. How's your fish, Thong?
It's okay, but I think we might get them tangled up if we all bring them in once.
Yeah, just take our time.
Yeah.
And this is why you come fishing. This is why you battle the big seas, to get a quadruple hookup like every bait and lure in the water, to get them smashed. It's pretty special, isn't it, Thong?
It certainly is.
So does this normally happen when you're mackerel fishing?
Yeah, well, we get double hookups. I've never had a quadruple hookup on them.
Never had a quadruple. I just couldn't believe the size of the...
No.
One of us has a big fish on, I'm not sure which one.
This one I got not bad.
I saw it come out of the water, Thong. It actually came right across the back of the spread.
Yeah.
I reckon it jumped about 5 metres in distance.
Yes, he certainly come out.
Oh, look at the size of Thong's fish. Is that a mackerel or a cooter? It's a big fish, whatever it is. Oh, it's a Spaniard.
It's a Spanish,
It's a Spanish. That's a big fish, Thong.
It's a good fish.
Look at this.
Another lease of life.
That is 80-pound orange fins, and he's just woken up, and he's going off his nut. He just took 100 metres in that run. He's going at the back, still going. Look at him. This is why you go fishing. This is gold.
This is gold, all right.
Oh, look at that for a Spaniard. That's a big fish, mate.
It certainly is. I keep getting him close to the boat and he keeps getting another lease of life.
It's all about just taking your time. Now, Pete's fish has actually fallen off, so we're down to 3. And I've got a fish right out the back here, so I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to let Thong get his fish in. And that other fish is on 30-pound fins. That's going to take a while too. There it goes.
There it goes.
A very large mackerel, and I got some bad news, Pete from Geraldine Tackleworld Country. You owe me $34.99 for a new Hydro Magnum deep diver in blue. Let me come. Okay, come under. I think we have to chase these fish, mate. He might have bit you off, mate. There was no wire on that at all. I was running the gauntlet. Well, and then there was one. Well, people often say, Paul, you got the greatest job in the world. Well, I believe I have. But sometimes the office conditions aren't so hot. And I've lost my fish too. Look at that. I think what happened there, let me just have a look at the terminal end. He's bit through single strand wire. Sorry, Michael, coming to see me. That was a monstrous mackerel. He's actually bitten me off on single strand. And the deal is 4 love. And the mackerel are winning. That's just insane. Well, everyone knows how much I love my Yo-Zuri lures and how much faith I have in them. And some of those mackerel I saw before with the big Yo-Zuris in their gob, unbelievable. But I wanted to try something a little bit different today. So I've got some gars and I've actually rigged them up. And the big fish I had on was on the rigged gar. We saw him come out of the water, land on top of it, just insane. And this is what I've basically done. Single strand wire. I've just gone through his head there, 2 ball sinkers on the chin. That hook is actually going through that wire there. I've just pinned that through. All I did was slide the hook up inside his gills and back out. And then there's a second bit of wire connected with a hook down the tail, because these mackerel like to come through and bite the tail off first. I put these in the water, believe it or not, they are swimming just like a live garfish, cruising along. And when the fishing is tough, they will find these little puppies very, very hard to resist. And now go around the back of me, go around the back of me. I reckon we might have the same fish on, mate. Yeah. That is just insane. This Stella just took off, and then my Torsa took off, and I think Thong and I could have the same fish on, although I'm not getting the same head shakes you are, mate, but we're still working the same direction.
We're still going the same direction.
We won't know till he runs. And Thong had my favourite lure of all time. The Ozuri Hydra Magnum, Dorado colour, PRHD from memory. And Thong got snaffled, didn't it?
It did. I think we have got the same fish, Paul.
We have. So he must have eaten your lure, and then he's come up and eaten. What is it?
I know.
Let's move around the corner. Oh, it's a big mac.
Spanish.
It's a big mac, and look where I've hooked him. I've actually hooked him. It's a double tag team effort. Look at this mackerel here. He's got my Ozuri in his gob, and he's got the garfish in his odd thumb.
Certainly making a mess of them. You won't get away this one, but I don't think.
Don't say that. Let's just say, Thong, the thoughts are in our favour. But I reckon just let him tire himself out a bit.
Righto.
That's a big fish, isn't it?
Yeah, not a bad one, is it?
Oh! We might get you to come around the side. This fish is going to be our dinner. Just take your time, mate. This is a big Mackie. But how cool was that hookup, Thong?
Certainly went for it, didn't it?
I'll swap you, Shawnee.
Got a bit of life left in him.
He has, considering we're tag teaming. You bring his head around, Shawnee, I'll swap your rod. Oh, I'm on, okay. Okay, this could well be the luckiest mackerel in the world. The Hydra Magnum has fallen out. I've got one hook in his side. I can't put too much pressure on him because he's going to pull that hook out. It is a comedy of errors here today. And look at him coming sideways with his tail in the air. Oh, and he's actually using every bit of tide just to pull away. Come on, mate. I reckon he's probably got one good run left in him too. Oh, if I get this fish, it is the most unlucky mackerel on the planet. And he's still full of beans because we double tagged him. Now, I'm going to bring him back, Shawnee. Come in and do your job, mate. That's a boy, right in the scone. Well done.
Good on you, Sean.
And that, look at this for an unlucky fish. Thong, come down here. That is one unlucky Spaniard. Here's my gar rig, one hook, and the second hook. And Thong, he ate your lure. I'd say he's a little greedy, wasn't he? What I'll do, I'll pick him up. If you want to go around and grab the head bit, come around this side. Just watch that head. Wow. How's that for a fish? Have you ever seen that before?
No, not caught with the lure and two hooks.
Well, you know the moral.
Bugger.
You know what the moral of the story is? Holy mackerel! If at first you don't succeed, or the second, third, or fourth time, you try again, and you get a big Spaniard. But
Doesn't matter how you get him in, as long as you get him in, I guess.
Well, he's unlucky and we're lucky because we're having Spanish mackerel for tea. And one thing, always watch those teeth because they are nasty. And the good news is the tide has just turned, Thong. I can wear a chance of getting a few more.
I think so, Paul.
You're struggling to pick this fish up?
Come on.
You're struggling to hold him?
He's got a bit of weight to him,
Yeah,
hasn't he?
show me how good you are, Thong. This is where all the boxer size classes come into it. Look at that. Spanish mackerel of the Monties. We finally did it. Woo! Oh! Ooh, Thongy. That's a bit of a serious run.
Certainly is.
Now, how long had that rod been back in the water?
About 2 minutes, if that.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It's just amazing how you control that here in the ocean for so long, not get bites, and then all of a sudden it just switches on again. I think the best way to explain it, Thong, is we don't eat all day, do we? We just eat when we feel like it.
I think so. I think like the skipper said, like at the top of the tide, the bait might come up to the top again.
Yep.
The fish may start feeding up on the top. Look where it is.
That is a long way out. I can tell by the angle, that is a long way out, mate. Are you gaining on him?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Spaniard maybe?
Well, who knows? It certainly feels big enough to be a Spanish, but
Look at him out on the surface there. I reckon he's just sitting there thinking, I don't want to have a part of these guys. How cool is that, Thong?
certainly is.
I reckon we're a chance of a monster fish here if we just put in a couple of hours.
Yep.
I mean, not saying that these aren't monstrous fish, but there's fish here in excess of 100 pound, and the fish we're catching are probably around 40 pound. I'd love to see a monster. I'd love to get one for you to see because they're so exciting, aren't they? I can see that big green lure of mine in his little mouth.
Yeah,
It's a big Mac. It's a fat one.
yeah. What do we want to do with him?
It's a fat Mac. Bring him up. Just try and lift his head up, mate. Take your time. He could go still. Oh, that's a big fish.
You right, Paul?
Yeah.
Gotta get Paul a hand with that. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's a good fish.
oh, thong! Thong! Man, that is a monster mackerel. Look at that!
He's got a
Holy snap, and come around here.
bit of depth to him, hasn't he?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the fish this way because I'm shading it with my shadow. Have a look at this. Come around here. Look at that for a mackerel. Thong! Come down and look at your fish. Thong, it's pretty amazing when you can come in here and catch a fish seriously nearly as big as us, isn't it?
It is. Paul, it is. Yeah. It's a good fish.
You know the other thing I can't believe? I spent all that time rigging fresh gars. Look what he's eating.
And he's taken that there. They have. Most of them are taking the hard bodies, haven't they, all morning?
Can you believe I've got fish eating Yozuri lures when we've got fresh gars swimming amongst them?
No, normally it's the other way around, isn't it?
It is
Put
just
out
wrong.
a fresh gar and they'll take it first.
And those teeth there, they are razor sharp. I won't go anywhere near them. These things are an eating machine. I'd hate to be a bait fish around when these guys are there. And this fish, he's going in the estuary because Spanish mackerel is great tasting fish. We're going back into, I call it the harbour, our beautiful safe anchorage tonight.
Yes, yep.
And it is Spanish mackerel. I'm going to have some cutlets and I'm going to have a few little steaks as well. And this is about as good as fishing gets. Mothership fishing, catching big Spaniards, and I reckon there's a bigger one with your name on it,
I'm
Thom.
sure there's a bigger one out there.
Let's go get him. I love your work, mate. That is just gold. Well, Thong, what a way to end a day off the Montebello Islands.
It is, Paul. It's been a great day. Some good fishing amongst it.
How big was that mackerel you caught, and how big were the ones we lost?
I think the ones we lost may have been even bigger.
Well, it's the ones you lose that keep you coming back time and time again. If you want to come back to this beautiful part of the world, as I nearly fall over, don't forget Blue Juice Charters, Montebello's. They've also got a pretty serious service out of Hillary's as well for those big sandbows. Adios, love your work.